Own Abbas Hussain here from FightHype.com, and I'm here with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, I know you're doing this, fit for 40 thing, and I've not seen you for a couple of weeks. You've lost a little bit. It is
a long way to go, mate. We've got 8 weeks to go till my birthday, so we've got to lose a minimum of 16 pounds over 8 weeks. So
you know what they say: if you wear black, sort of makes it look a bit.
Green's not the best, but yeah.
But let's talk about the card behind you. Entertaining press conference as you get with Dave Allen. Dave Allen. It seems like he's been through this sort of roller coaster, been on many ups, many downs. But this is a serious part of his life, and I know he was joking about that, but we've got to get serious about his career. He can't be headlining shows if people are seeing him as a bit of fun. Is this his last chance to sort of prove himself to the big boys?
I think on this level, like headlining shows at the O2, because he is lucky that he's been given this chance. Anyone that headlines a show like this is lucky. But I haven't just given him this chance because I'm a nice bloke. I see the numbers, I see the interest. Coogan Cassidy's put out a poll. Like, we see the digital numbers, Sky's numbers, our social media numbers. People are enthralled by the Dave Allen story, and he's fun to watch. And so is Lucas Browne. So here, this was a heavyweight fight where both guys are going to be punching lumps out of each other. I wanted it to headline. I mean, you got a great fight between Chisora and Gashes, where you got two big heavyweight fights headlining the card. I'm pleased for him, but the feel-good stories are great. You got to win, and it's a tough ask for him. I mean, I've seen that he's the slight favourite in the fight, and I think that's because people just want to back him because they like him. But when you look at like who Lucas Browne's been in with, getting that win against Chagayev in Russia and stuff like that, like he's boxed at a high level. So it's going to be a very tough fight for Dave Allen. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Darren Barker link-up has done for him. But putting it all together on this occasion, in this kind of big stage, it's going to be very difficult for Dave.
I just want to talk about what Chisora spoke about there. He said that not a lot of the top four want to fight each other, in the sense that top three, it looks like it's a bit difficult at times for negotiations. You've been through that path, and we know how difficult it was. But is somebody like Chisora that fight that you can pull in to fight a top fighter when they're not fighting each other?
I mean, he made a good point. Like, the four guys, I think, that he's referring to, obviously, is Joshua Wilder, Fury and Dillian Whyte. And obviously they're not fighting each other at the moment. So what he's saying is we're the guys that are scrapping and ready to step up. I mean, yesterday David Hay called me and said, what about Chisora? And I went, is he all right? He went, no, for Joshua on June 1. I'm like, he's not on the list. He said, yeah, but what if he looks great on Saturday? I'm like, no, but he's credible for any world title challenge. The great fight with Dillian Whyte, he was winning the fight against Dillian Whyte. Dillian was coming on strong. But you're only ever really one good performance away and one good win away from being in a big fight. And that's what I say about Dave Allen as well. If he beats Lucas Browne, I'm not saying he's going to fight Joshua Wilder, but he's going to be in a fight with a top 15 heavyweight. Then if he wins that, it's like, this is winner stays on. This is what I call this. It's like the old days when you're playing pool or you're playing table tennis, you win, you stay on. This is like the heavyweight division. Winner stays on. And for these two guys, especially Chisora and Allen, that applies massively on Saturday night.
A lot of people, a lot of fans thought Chisora was done a couple of years ago. He was out of shape, wasn't really performing to his abilities, but you look at him, he's in shape now. You mentioned it there, Dillian Whyte fight, he was winning it. So this seems to be this sort of resurgence.
Yeah, you look at the resurgence of his career. I mean, he used to play at the game a lot, Yeah. Like, he never really trained that great. Then he had an unbelievable fight with Dillian Whyte, which could have gone either way. Dillian got the win. Then he went to Monaco and he boxed Kiabu. He didn't even really try that night. That weren't Derek Chisora. Then he came back in the Carlos Takam fight. It was one of the best fights I've ever seen, the Carlos Takam fight. Then he came back in another barnstormer against Dillian Whyte, was winning the fight and got knocked out in the 11th round. So you have to look at it and say, like, the improvements have been incredible. Now teaming up with Dave Coldwell, again, it's difficult changing everything and going in with a new coach and just making it work, making it happen. So it's going to be hard for him because he's going to be trying new things. And you've got a guy like Senan Gashi. Like, do you know how hard Senan Gashi is going to try on Saturday night? He's the one tough son of a bitch. You're going to have to nail him to the canvas. He wouldn't go down against Takam. He kept going down, get up. He'd look at me at times and go, like, should I carry on? Like, he's just a warrior. So the fight against Chisora is going to be a war. And both guys, even Gashi, if Gashi beats Chisora, what do you think he's thinking? He's thinking, I'm one fight away, beat this guy, I'm going to get a major fight, major payday.
I want to talk about pretty boy Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
there's been a lot said about him, and I speak to him quite often, and he does say that this is going to be his year where there's going to be that big step. Now, obviously, he can't look past his opponent now, who's unbeaten, maybe not for a level of opposition as Josh Kelly has, but looking at the June card where it looks like he's fighting in America, he mentioned to me very big names, like names in the sense of Josecito Lopez, people like that. Can you give me an update on what sort of opposition he's going to be fighting out there?
I mean, it won't be Lopez, but it'll be top quality American fighters. And Adam Booth wants to move really quickly with him. Saturday, I hope it'll be straightforward. The kid's in unbelievable shape. He's fighting. He's an unbeaten fighter, 17-0. He's ranked. He's got a good amateur pedigree as well. Like, they don't see this as just trying to turn up to say they're here to win, and that's what I want. It's like the Joe Caldina Andy Townend fight. Townend's there to win. He believes he's going to win. That's what I want to test these young fighters. But Josh Kelly's moving very quickly, and he wants to move as fast as possible, and so does Adam Booth. It's just a case of finding the fights for him. No fighter really wants to go in with like a 8, 9, 10-0 young prospect. We've got the same thing with Madrimov. He's 2-0. Do you know what I mean? So you imagine speaking to a fighter who thinks they might have something left and say, do you want to fight this guy? What have I got to gain by fighting a 2-0 kid? And Josh obviously had more fights than that, but until there's something big on the line, it's going to be hard without just paying pots and pots of money to bring a top contender. But that's what we're going to have to do, because we have the goods, we have the fighter that is good enough to beat those guys.
Obviously, I want to allude to the big news that broke yesterday, and a lot of people have been asking about opponents, and I know it's still very fresh and you're still looking for that opponent. But are you let down by Miller? Because it seems to be like you were promoting him, and a lot of people are looking at you and thinking maybe he's not as good, but Eddie's still pushing him, and you pushed him, you got him to that stage, and then do you feel like he's let you down? Yeah,
I do. Obviously he denies the allegations. I think everybody does, but the fact is, intentional, non-intentional, it doesn't matter. He failed a Vada test. So in that respect, I'm hugely disappointed. I'm not just disappointed personally, I'm disappointed for the show, obviously. I mean, we'll find the replacement, it'll be a great fight, still Joshua's debut, it's going to be an amazing night, big card. But, I kind of worked Jarrell into a position where he got this opportunity of a lifetime and he fucked it. That's the reality. And it doesn't, I didn't do this, you put something in you that made you test positive, right? So you fucked it. So, I'm sure he'll be back, but it's disappointing because when you get a chance like that in life, you just got to be on top of things. It's not hard, I know what I can take and can't take, or people should know around me. Sometimes that's the problem, people around you. But, I'll say I'm disappointed for him because I'm not. I'm disappointed with the situation. But the only good thing is, and I said this in a couple of interviews, we found out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want my fighters going in the ring with someone that is taking something to enhance their endurance or enhance their strength, because it ain't fair. And I don't want AJ going into a ring with someone like that. So as bad as the situation is, I would much rather that than the fight goes ahead and the 8th or 9th round, this guy's just motoring on and AJ gets knocked out and he could get hurt in that fight. That's bullshit, and that's not. So in that sense, I'm happy because it's done its job. We pay a lot of money for this testing, right? And AJ always insists, hopefully 16 weeks out, get them on Vada testing, because he believes on a fair playing field he beats everybody, and that's what we believe. So all we got to do is keep fighters clean, and he cleans up, right? So that's the situation. And for all the Vada testing we've done throughout his career, no one's ever tested positive. So it's almost like, spending all this money and now you get it where it's worked. So I celebrate that, but at the same time I wish it would never happen.
Eddie, I want to ask you about that then. Is this a problem in the US bigger than the UK?
Massive. Because, one, the UK is a smaller place, but here we have the British Boxing Board of Control, and fighters who sign up are UCAD tested randomly. Now every title fighter is subject to stringent UCAD testing. If you're a 6-rounder or an 8-rounder, you might get one every now and again. But what I'm saying is the only way to stop people from taking PEDs is random testing, right? So what the British Boxing Board of Control do with UCAD is brilliant in that respect. Joshua is on Vada, he's getting tested every week, sometimes twice a week. He's also getting tested once or twice a week by UCAD. Some weeks he's doing 4 drugs tests with blood. You know what I mean? But it's the only way. Like, you can't cheat. It's impossible. So that's what we want, because this is boxing. It ain't chess. You know, you're not going out there or a game of tennis and you're cheating, so you might hit the ball a bit harder down the line. The aim of boxing is to render your opponent unconscious. I'm sorry, but that is the aim of boxing. And to do that by taking substances that are going to make you stronger, going to make you have more endurance, that's cheating, and that's dangerous. And that, we have to eradicate that from the sport. The problem in America is there's individual commissions, right? So the commissions really need to be saying, right, we're starting Vada testing. Okay, but everybody's got to do it. It's almost like you need a national body of boxing, professional boxing, that sits above the commissions, that makes sure that everybody does it. Because none of these fighters are getting tested. Only in the mega fights are fighters getting Vada tested, like as in once a week. You know, because it's expensive. This is another problem. It's 30 grand a fight for a big fight. It's too much money. Like, so it's all right with the mega fights, but it's, you know, and it's a massive problem because there's so many fighters out there cheating. So many.
Saying that though, there's people in the boxing circle, fighters have said that certain fighters fly out to a certain place in the world, do a camp there, so that they can have a cycle, and then sort of release that cycle, come back and get tested, and it doesn't show up. Do you know of this? Do you know of these sort of things? Because the fighters have said that to me.
When you're Vada testing, you have whereabouts, right? So you have to let people know where you are. If you don't, that's an infringement of the rules. So on the whereabouts system, if you go to, I don't know, Miami, you have to go on before you go and say, I'm going to Miami, this is where I'll be staying. And they'll test you there as well. But they'll only do that on the Vada testing that we employ, that's the expensive one. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're UCAD testing and you go off to, I don't know, Russia for a camp, you have to let them know, but our UCAD is unlikely. Do you know what I mean? But Vada are outstanding because they do go. Because I know plenty of times people have been in camps. I think Dillian Whyte flew to watch the Pacquiao Browne fight. As soon as he touched down, Vada were there on him. Like, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. And Vada, you know, Vada don't sanction; they just report. And what I mean by that is, Vada don't say, you failed this test, you're banned for two years. So now it's on the commissions to decide what the penalty is.